Well, happy early Thanksgiving, Ryan, even though you have to work.
Yes, thank you very much, Katie. And when this episode is released, it'll probably be close to your Thanksgiving.
Yeah, probably.
Thank you very much. Yes, for those who don't know, Canadians celebrate Thanksgiving in October, and the U.S. country, of course, sells it. Sells it, boy.
Same diff.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys sell it. Well,
Yeah,
it's really big for you guys because when Thanksgiving is done, you roll right into Black
it is very
Friday.
much a selling holiday for us. Yes.
You roll into Black Friday, and all that is the shopping, and it's kind of like the appetizer to Christmas.
That's a good way of putting it. I have never partaken in the Black Friday shopping.
Oh,
It's it's a
wow.
bit crazy. I don't think the sales are good enough to get up at 4 a.m. and wait in line.
Especially with Amazon now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you can order everything on Amazon. I don't see the point or the reason or the need. So yeah, so thank you so much. If you want the bird, go out in the alley and eat the bird. It's just Thursday to me, anyways. Actually, this year it's Monday. Usually it's Monday, anyways. In the Canada, it's always like the second or third Monday of the month, actually.
Yeah, I was reading about that. So you guys like have a big, well, unless you have your big meal sometime over the weekend, as opposed to the actual Monday.
Yeah, usually people. I know when I grew, we're not doing anything this year. Our life is just too busy. I'm probably I'm going to work, and also it's hard to make the meals. My wife makes wonderful meals anyways every night. It's kind of like, hey, why don't you do more? And so we'll kind of save it for Christmas anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. And also, what was I gonna say? Yeah. So if Rocky was written by Canadian, we couldn't do that line like, "Oh, to me it's just Thursday." It'd be to me it's just Monday.
This is true.
Yeah.
Also, isn't your birthday sometime in October? Did we miss it?
Again, as I'm drinking water into the mic. Again, when we this album, boy, I'm all over the place. I've been up since 5 in the morning. So
Oh man. Yeah, I don't blame you at all.
yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, when this episode comes out, my birthday will most likely have passed. It's October 28th.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Little time, yeah.
turning 45. I'm old, so don't laugh at me.
No, that's not old, but it's like it's a midpoint, you know. It's a midpoint one.
I'm like, it's not old, but I mean, you're halfway to death.
No, I just meant like it's not 40, it's not 50, but it's like, oh, I'm nearing, the five is always difficult. It's like you're halfway to the next decade.
It's true, and I actually kind of feel like the 40s have been a little bit. Midlife crisis is a real thing, and I hate that term.
Hmm.
I didn't, nothing major happened, but the idea that my life is more than like probably more than halfway over, it's occurred to me quite a bit, and it's really kind of a. And if you're lucky, that's the thing. It's like I'm midlife if I'm lucky,
Hmm.
because that means I'm
True.
living to the 90s. So I'm probably past midway. It's odd.
Well, people are living longer, but no, you're right. It is a thing. I joked half jokingly, like when I was in my late 20s, approaching 30, I felt like I had like a quarter life crisis, and so yeah, I it's morbid, or it just reminds you that as you
Sure.
get older, tomorrow's not promised. So with that depressingness, let's
Yeah.
let's
Well, let's get it. Let's get even more
I,
depressing because we're missing a co-host today.
I know.
Yeah. So Kyle, he passed away with COVID. Rest in peace, buddy.
I shouldn't Why did I laugh? That was terrible.
Because I'm funny. Uh,
Yeah.
Kyle does have COVID. He doesn't even have COVID. He has a cold.
No.
But in today's atmosphere, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's so worried about keeping his distance from us that he's not even streaming with us. But no, he's got a cold. He says he's got a cold and he's got a migraine. He feels terrible. But long story short, I hate to say it, but that's kind of why I hired a third co-host, so to speak, for reasons like this. The show can go on without skipping a beat, so to speak. So, Kyle, we miss you. We know you'll be back. Unfortunately, no, Kyle, we know you'll be back. In fact, I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest with you, Kate, not because of your ability or inability or whatever. I know coming next on today's episode, I think we're gonna lead into maybe the fight.
Yeah.
And Kyle's really good at breaking down fights, and I'm sucky at it. So,
He is, luckily it's not like the big fight. It's just
mm,
the earlier fight. It's a quick one. So
that's true.
hopefully Kyle will be with us during the bigger fight in
And
this
if
movie.
and if Kyle does pass away, he would laugh at my joke. Just so you know, he's that kind of, and I would too. That's it. People are so sensitive about things. It's funny. I want people to laugh at my funeral, if that makes sense. Like it's okay to
Hmm.
like. I don't mean laugh at like, hey, look, your husband and
Yeah,
father's dead. No, but I mean the idea of like I'm a pretty humorous person, or I find humor in things. I don't think not everything is sacred.
yeah,
If that makes sense, yeah, I don't know. But
yeah, yeah.
Kyle has got a great sense of humor. Of course, you would know that. Okay, but before we roll into uh, the movie, of course, we'll do our housekeeping. So let's first roll into our mailbag. I think we got a couple emails.
There are. So the first one says, "Hi Ryan, big fan of your show. Listening back to your fan mail, someone asked the question whether we will see Rocky on screen again. Here are my thoughts. At the end of Creed 2, we were introduced to Rocky's grandson, Logan. I think Rocky planted the seed of basing a film around his grandson. The synopsis, I think, for this Logan movie could be as follows: Rocky Jr., Robert, sadly passes away. Oh, God, no, no, that could never happen. Never.
Um,
Uh, Logan's mom is in no fit state to look after Logan as she's gone off the rails. As a result, Rocky takes him in and trains him as a boxer and ultimately giving Logan a future. At the same time, Rocky gets redemption for not being there for Robert, as well as finally having a family again. As with all Rocky films that reflect, mirror Sly's real life, we will get to see how Rocky and ultimately Sly copes with his son's death. Time wise, looking at the age of Logan, this film comes out in 10 or 15 years. Let me know what yourself and the co-host think. Great show. Kind regards, Dalbir Singh Sawan from the UK.
okay.
Uh,
What was his name again?
Dalbir Singh, or I'm probably pronouncing, I apologize, Dalbir, I'm probably pronouncing your name incorrectly.
It's not your fault. I should have had my email up too, just so I could butcher it with you.
Dalbir is his first name,
Yeah,
and then
Del Beer,
Singh
maybe, probably Del Beer.
Dalbir. Yeah. Dalbir Singh Sawan. He's from the UK.
Okay.
Hence the mum reference. I like that. Uh, I think that's my thoughts are that that's a solid synopsis of a future movie. I'm not sure how if it'll actually happen, but I would love that,
Right.
except for Milo Ventimiglia's character passing away.
Right.
That would be sad.
Yeah, I honestly just don't think we're going to have another Rocky. I think this has come up a few times. I don't think we're going to have another Rocky film. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring on.
Mm.
This is so stupid. Uh, I just honestly, I just don't. I think it's done.
Well, this makes I like this idea. I like Dalbier's
Sure.
idea a lot better than this like random person we don't know
Right.
uh, that he's talked about doing with him, like an immigrant that's fighting for his life or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
This brings back the family idea, and he's got really good points, like the redemption factor and the timing seems like legit, but
Yeah, It's not a bad storyline. I like it.
yeah.
Del Beer, thank you for the email. Listeners, let us know if you think I should just do a poll.
Ooh, good
Like
idea.
like just are we really going to see another Rocky film or not? Not what we want, but are we really just yes or no?
Well, I would actually almost rather know what people want.
Well,
Like,
of course,
because
everyone's going to want one.
do you
It,
think so?
well, then there's always the people. Well, people didn't want Creed, but they liked it. People didn't want Creed 2, but they liked it. So I think you're always going to get those people that are going to say, "Oh, I think it's over. It's done." I'm more curious, like whether you like it or not. Are we going to get another one?
Mm.
What do you think we're going to get another one?
I honestly have no idea. As much as like, I like that idea, the one that was just brought up.
This is interesting.
I
Yeah.
don't like the Mexican fighter idea just because I don't know anything about it. Aside from it doesn't really seem like it has anything to do with Rocky. It could just be a standalone movie.
Mm-hmm. It's fair. Yeah.
Uh, and I think one of the other emails goes into the person's thoughts on his appearance or lack thereof in Creed 3.
Yeah, I might
But
be combining two emails
yeah,
in my head. I
yeah,
probably, but why don't you roll into that one? Then we'll.
yeah. I think it might be this next one. So this next one is from Greg the First. He says, Ryan, Kyle, and Katie, I had a few thoughts of my own after listening to the most recent episode you posted. First, about the rumored Rocky IV director's cut. I think Ryan hit the nail on the head. After the success of Creed 2, it seemed like maybe Sly wants to recut the movie to make the tone match a little better with that movie. Although I do find it a little ironic that Stallone would spend a lot of time prepping a new cut of a movie that was wholly his own vision to make it match closer in tone to a movie that he supposedly had such a bad experience with. I think he's referencing his experience with Creed 2.
Yeah.
And then he says, "I'm looking
That's a
forward
good.
to."
Before you go,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good
Mm-hmm.
point. With
Mm-hmm.
Greg the first, that's the idea that, but we don't. Yeah, we're speculating. We're speculating that Sly is trying to match the tone of Creed 2. You could argue because he's maybe at the end of the day he's a professional artist, and maybe despite some of the behind the scenes issues on the film in Creed 2, he still recognizes that it was a good film, and maybe he wants to ground the franchise a little bit more. So despite maybe some of those issues, he does recognize good when he sees it. That might be a sign of a humble person too, in his own right, that he's willing to change his vision a little bit to make it more modern. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a number of thoughts around that as well. Just seeing a lot of video clips that he's posted over the last several months. It's just been interesting. But on that point, I was curious. It is an interesting I thought, like that is kind of ironic, but didn't Sly have a lot more to do with the making of Creed 2 than Creed, the first Creed?
No, the other way around. Oh wait, sorry. No, yeah. So
Creed
my
2.
yeah, my bad. Yeah, Creed 2. He originally was like he wrote the script, and then he was going to direct it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they pulled something happened where they pulled him off directing. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we got this young another young actor, or sorry, young director. He's going to direct it. Is a nobody." And this guy, I forget his name already. Who directed Creed 2? Boy, that's terrible. Oh, what is it?
Oh no, I'm
Yeah,
gonna look it
well,
up.
go ahead and look it up. I forget. Once I hear it, I'll be like, "Oh, of course."
I know. I don't know either. So
But look
yeah.
it up and also look up what he's got next. It's weird. His slate is very.
It's Stephen Capel Jr.
That's right. And if you look on, what does he have coming up? Does it say what he has coming up? It's a pretty light slate, I noticed.
His credits include The Land, Creed 2, A Different Tree. Uh,
Does
Forbes named him one of the 30 under 30 Hollywood and entertainment.
yeah.
So
So yeah, long story short, for those who might have just who don't know, uh, there was a rumor. This is I'm not even gonna pin this on anybody who told me this rumor, just to keep it vague. But there was a rumor that Michael B. Jordan kind of went behind Sly's back and
mm,
talked to Capel Jr. there, saying this is a Creed film, not a Rocky film, kind of thing. Like this should be my film and not a Rocky film. So there might have been some stuff I don't know, and I think it got back to Sly, and he was kind of hurt by that. And also there was some tension between the diner scene between Dolph Lundgren and Sly even, and that was talked about. People that saw the filming of that. So it's an odd filming experience.
yeah, it is. I recently watched just really quickly. I think the interview. There was an interview. I don't even know who it was. The interviewer was unfamiliar to me, but there was sort of like an audience setting somewhere, and it was really laid back. But they were interviewing Carl Weathers and Dolph Lundgren. This was probably like a year or so ago,
Okay.
or like right before. It was before Creed 2 came out, so 2 years ago then. And it was just interesting. They had some good answers to things, but Carl seemed super into it. Like, and Dolph, he grew on me a little bit over the interview, but at first he was just so not, you could tell he did not want to be there. He was like really short with his answers,
Hmm.
sort of a little uppity about it. And so I wondered what that was all about. But hearing you say that maybe there was a little like bad taste in his mouth too, maybe. I don't know.
It's weird. And the other thing of note, boy, sounds. Oh, yeah. When it came to the Creed 2 press, and Sly did no press for it. He didn't do any talk
That's
shows.
right.
He didn't do any.
That's
He
right.
actually made Rambo 5
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
avoid Creed 2 press. What does that tell? Like, I'm sorry, the timing of Rambo was like literally Creed 2 had not been released yet, and he started teasing Rambo stuff.
Well, it luckily did well. I certainly liked it a lot. Like it's one of my,
It's well
outside
written.
of the
Like,
original or
yeah,
outside of the original ones, it's probably my favorite.
I like it better than part one. It's more.
Not
It's yeah,
wait,
like
not Rocky
Creed.
One.
Creed Part One,
Oh yeah, it's definitely better than the first Creed.
because it kind of feels more like
Absolutely.
a Rocky film. Like
Yeah,
Creed
yeah,
is great, but Creed Two kind of feels like a fun Rocky film in some ways.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, Creed's my least favorite, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we've
Yeah.
established that
Uh,
your co-host duties are on a thread here, but no,
but
that's actually not that's not true. That's this has been an interesting travel through. So okay, let's get
yeah.
back to Greg the
Okay,
First
so
here. But
yeah,
that's
so
good discussion
he
points.
yeah, he says, bad experience with it. And then he says, I'm looking forward to it personally. The original was only 90 minutes, so I'm curious how much extra footage was originally filmed. Usually, a director's cut is longer than the original,
Hmm.
but but so far it seems like the only thing we know is that Sly wants to cut the robot. As far as a Rocky Five director's cut, the only cut I would want to see of that film is one that ends with a fight in the ring. And since that can't happen, just leave that one alone. I do
Yeah.
think that there's a chance we'll get a 4K box set for the 45th anniversary of the original movie next year. They released a new Blu-ray box set of the first oh, I don't know if I realized that. He says they released a new Blu-ray box set of the first six films for the 40th anniversary.
Right.
I would be at the front of the line for that, especially if it included any new extra features. Um,
So
yeah,
yeah,
I would like a. He didn't direct Rocky Five, so we're not going to get a director's cut anyway. But
no, we won't.
I
Uh,
liked the ending. I was probably one of the few people that disagrees
that's
with.
fine. No, well,
Yeah.
yes, I think it's torn. I think, yeah, I stand by my vision. I don't care what anyone says. I think you could have had both. I think you could have had the street fight roll into the ring fight.
No, no, I have to disagree with that. Adrian would have never allowed that.
Yeah. Well, the whole
He
okay.
was forced. The only reason that he was able to do the street fight is because his hand was forced. If he had to like actually plan a fight, it wouldn't have like
You're
because
right.
he was
Adrian
so
would have
brain
gone aboard.
damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, yes, but the irony is, had Adrian allowed, we talked about this
yeah,
at the very beginning, because that street fight was bare knuckle fighting on the
yeah.
pavement.
It would have been safer.
It would have been safer just to fight Union Kane in the ring, and he would have knocked out Union Kane in one round and walked away with another 40 million K, and then end of story.
But he tried to take the high road. I think the reason it works, he tried to take the high road, and he's like, "No, I'm not doing this." And he kept pushing and pushing and pushing. Tommy kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and like forced him to do it. And he was like, "All right, I guess I'll do this." But
Yeah.
anyway,
No, yeah,
um,
you're right. That's what happened.
then so Greg goes on to say, then you talk about whether we're ever going to see Rocky Balboa on screen again. Well, this may be cheating, but I think you will in Creed 3. However, I think it will be in an archival footage, in the form of archival footage or posters on gym walls, etc., rather than new footage filmed for the movie. That's a good point. I hadn't really thought of that,
That
but
is cheating and doesn't count.
it doesn't count.
Greg the First, I'm gonna executive order this and say, because it is cheating, it has to be newly filmed footage to
Okay.
count. Yeah.
Okay. And then he goes on to say, I want to echo Ryan's thoughts about The Wire. It's a great show, all filmed locally in Baltimore, not far from where I live. MBJ was excellent in it. And then he says he only appears in season one.
Yeah.
But I also think he's great in Black Panther and Creed films, unlike everyone else.
All right, easy there, Greg the First.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
We're not a Michael B. Jordan hate train. I know it seems like we are. It's not. He's just a tough one to like. We've even mentioned on the show, and I know he's heard it, that his character, the Creed character, does build on us. He grows on us as the movie goes on. That the last half, he's certainly a more likable character than the first half.
But a Rocky he will never be.
That's true.
Okay, so then he says,
But Black Panther does suck.
yeah,
It's so
I
boring. I
thought
never finished it. I never finished it. I was
I
so
thought it was
bored.
overrated. Overrated. I thought it was overrated as well. But I'm not into like that's not my genre. So
And I
maybe
and I
not.
like the Marvel movies, and I like Coogler directing Creed, and like, and it was, anyways. Actually, the special effects were pretty shoddy for a Marvel film. Though I don't, and I like the Black Panther character. Ironically, so
Hmm.
I like the character in the Avenger films, like his character, and of course, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman,
Hmm.
who played Black Panther. I enjoyed his portrayal in the Avenger films, but the standalone film, it's a snore fest. I'm legitimately surprised it made what it made. I like box. It was a box office blowout. It was huge, huge money, and I'm happy that it was successful. Like it wouldn't bring me any joy had it failed at the box office. Like I'm happy it did well for the
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
community, and let's be honest, it's a black cast, black creators behind
Yeah.
this. So I'm happy that it was successful. But if I'm just being honest, you take away everything else. It's just, I was bored.
I
Yeah.
don't even really remember it. I mean, that's how little
Black
of it.
Panther loses a fight on a waterfall, and then he wins it again.
Mm,
That's about it.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, okay, then he says, as for the actual section of Creed you watched for the episode, I love the first training montage. Props to Katie for calling out the musical cue. I think it fits the scene perfectly. And I also love Rocky's little speech at the end to Adonis and the way he just slowly backs out of the scene.
Oh, that mirror scene. Yeah.
Hmm. Thanks as always for reading my ramblings, Greg the First. P.S. Yes, Stallone was snubbed for an Oscar for this movie. His best acting is still yet to come, too.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
I think he's referring to in this film.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, I think his
I
I think
I
his
did
acting days might be over,
misinterpret.
but
Mm,
I think it's
no, no,
well. I
no.
don't mean that. I'm not. Look, I'm being
Yeah.
well. Maybe Samaritan will be fun. I don't think it's going to be
No.
an acting film, but it's going to be a fun film. I think if he does a mobster film like that Scarpa or something, maybe we can see
Yep.
some acting chops.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's talking. I know what scene he's talking about. I really can't wait. I can't wait. You see that wall behind me? Yeah, I love that's the part there. And when he breaks down in the cancer scene, when
Yeah. Oh
oh
gosh, there's so much of the movie
yeah,
we still haven't gotten to.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay.
All right, next email.
Okay.
Thank
Next
you, Greg.
email is from Ibrahim. Oh, another UK person.
Yeah, we got
Look at this.
a big UK
Yeah.
audience. Yeah.
And I kind of love that I'm like the minority American because it's rough being American these days. So
Yeah.
I like the followers from all over.
Yes, absolutely.
So he says, Ryan ate all. Hope all is well. Just dropping you a line to say that I'm really enjoying the Creed coverage. You guys are doing a fantastic job. The Rocky movies have been given a cinematic re-release here in the UK. Cineworld are screening one each day for 6 days. We've got tickets for all of them. It's Rocky 2 for us tonight. Loved watching Rocky 1 on the big screen yesterday. It was a great experience. I
Cool.
gotta say, I'm jealous.
I know.
Like, I'm super jealous.
Yeah, I
I
am
wish
too.
that, I mean, I don't know what the story is with movie theaters these days, but that would be super cool to see
Yeah,
them.
there's a lot of people in the Facebook group who've shared and Twitter who shared their movie
Mhm.
going experience to our podcast. So thanks guys for doing that, and good for you for doing that, supporting Sly in the films. Yeah.
He goes on to say, a quick question for you, or maybe it's more of a request. Are you going to do a scene by scene breakdown of Rocky 4 director's cut?
No.
Well, he thinks you should. He says a full season of this would be
Oh my
great.
gosh, no.
And if you did it before you covered Creed 2, that would work out really nicely as Rocky 4 is essentially a prequel.
Yeah, okay. Listen, I'll tell you what we're doing, Clayton or Ibrahim. What we're doing, the guys from he's going to talk about the other side project I have. So the guys
Mhm.
from our Stallone Podcast Network group. So me, Craig, and Doug, we are going to do a Rocky 4 movie review. Yes, as a standalone episode. And of course, I'm sure Katie and Kyle and I will also discuss the film. We'd like because I want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. So both on this feed, the Going the Distance feed, there will be Rocky 4, of course, director's cut talk. So to answer your question, it will be discussed with 6 different people on 2 different shows, but I think both will just be one episode.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I
then
can't do a whole season. No.
Rocky 4 is one of it's like almost my second favorite.
No,
So
and I can't
I'm
wait.
excited for the discussion.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear
Yeah.
you. And so
Yeah.
I think when I talk to you and Kyle, I'll probably not take a back seat, but I'm going to say the majority of my discussion with Craig and Doug just for the Sloan Podcast Network show. But
Mm-hmm.
I definitely I would love to sit back and listen to you two hammer it out and your thoughts on that. I can't wait to talk about it and watch it with everybody. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm actually getting excited to see it as
Yeah,
well. But then he says on another note, I loved the backtrace review. So
yeah.
to your other, does everybody know about that?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah. So yeah,
oh, okay.
the most people on this channel know now that the Stallone Podcast Network has the Rocky Minute feed, Slycast on it, and Going the Distance. And then on top of that is the Stallone Podcast Network channel. So basically, there's like 4 channels in one feed,
Mhm.
and they all have their different style or flavors and hosts. But the Stallone Podcast Network show, we've done about 20 or 15 to 20 Sly films, and we just did Backtrace, so he's referring to that. referring to that. Okay, go on.
I listened to it too. So I think I share his sentiments. He says, I had never heard of that movie.
Yeah.
When your review dropped on Apple Podcasts, I looked up the movie to watch it before I listened to your episode. Then I saw that it had an IMDb rating of 3.7 out of 10. I decided to give it a miss.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a reason you haven't heard of a movie. I did listen to your review though, and it was hysterical. Really great fun. Backtrace sounds worse than Escape Plan 2,
Oof.
which is the worst I've seen Sly in. Keep up the great work, Ibrahim.
Okay.
Yeah, Escape Plan 2 was terrible.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we have a message from Baz. Is it
Yes.
Baz or Boz? Sorry,
Well,
you'll have to let me know.
well, his name is Barry,
Barry,
but
but he
he goes
signed
by
it
Baz.
Baz.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Baz. Yeah.
Yo, Ryan, Kyle, and Katie. He says you don't have to feel
Yeah, I know. We can
you don't
though.
have to read this. It's not related to Creed or current episodes. I wanted to email because I've not really got anyone to share the excitement of well, this I think we can all probably
Oh
relate.
yeah, we're
He's
Rocky nerds, so
yeah.
please, yeah.
Yeah. He says I've not really got anyone to share the excitement of actually seeing Rocky 1 on the big screen with. Let me be clear, I have friends, honest. But they all find my Rocky obsession sad.
Oh,
We can relate. We can totally relate.
yeah.
He says, sat waiting. It almost felt like it was 1976. Then the movie opened, Rocky scrolling across the screen, bigger than I've ever seen
Mm.
it. What a bold statement to open a movie. Imagine seeing this for the first time. For a second, I get my phone out and start to film. This is a crime of the modern age, and I'm a criminal at it. We'll just skip past that. Watching too many things through my phone. I say a rubbish Rocky joke to myself. He must be in the UK too.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh
I love
no,
it.
where's he from?
Or somewhere. Rubbish. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And
either
he saw it on the big
UK or
screen.
Australia, one of the two.
Okay. Okay. I say a rubbish Rocky joke to myself. Eyes are for seeing, phones are for talking, and put the phone away, as well as the gags. I'm not going to comment on every part of the film. Maybe there's a podcast in that. Maybe a
Maybe,
couple
yeah.
or
Maybe someone
three.
does a podcast about
Yeah.
that.
However, what really struck me was the stillness of Rocky at times.
Mm.
For example, argument scenes between Polly and Adrian. Stallone at large is still showing a vulnerable, unassured side to the character, where as an audience member, I'm thinking, when are you gonna go rip his head off?
Right.
Another thing that really hit was, yes, Rocky is a little odd, but just how alone he is. Maybe it's my age, but this seemed amplified and made me feel emotional.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Rewatching them now, it does I feel as though I have more empathy for Rocky,
Yeah,
the
he is a
character.
lonely character, yeah.
He goes on to say, I've got to say, every time I watch Rocky, like the other five, a little less, don't worry. I still have lots of love for them. Just reminds me how far they are away from this beauty.
Sure.
Yeah, the first one really was a masterpiece.
Right.
He says he could go on and on. What topped the night off was I got to share it with my 9-year-old son.
Mm.
He's seen a couple of the others a few times, but I've not allowed him to watch Rocky 1 in fear that he wouldn't like it.
Right.
Yeah. After the film had finished, he turned and said, wow, wow. So he didn't win, but he went the distance.
There you go. You understood.
Yeah. Did he truly enjoy it in comparison to the pop video feel to 4? Question mark, question mark. I don't know. Oh, that was a he's poking a little fun at me.
Yeah, good catch. I don't know.
But hopefully this put him on the path of Rocky worship.
There you go.
Hopefully. For me, while I never get to watch it again for the first time for a short period, I did feel like it was 76. Keep up the great work, Baz. Now your kids have seen it, right? The first one?
Well, I have two sons that are 20 and 22 now, and yes, they have. And then my 12-year-old, or sorry, he's turning 14 this month. Yeah, he saw it when he was 12, the series with me, yes. But now I have 8-year-olds and 6-year-olds, so I'm waiting till they're a little bit older. I might wait till the 8-year-old is like maybe like 13 and the twins are 11, and then we'll all watch it together at that age. But yeah. And that'll be it. I won't be able to share with any more children. I'm done. I'm done. No more children. I'm done.
You'll have grandkids soon enough. It
Oh,
sounds
don't
you've
stop it.
got kids at that
Oh
age.
boy. Yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah, that was actually a great email, Baz. So that's the kind of
Mhm.
stuff so it doesn't have to, like, as much as we know that we're amazing podcasters, it's nice to people
Sure.
don't have to toot our horns all the time. It's actually very
No,
nice to hear that story. That's a really personal, neat experience. So Baz, thank you. I guess he's a little bit older if he saw it in 76 himself.
76.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm a little bit older, but I mean, I saw parts 3 onward. I've seen parts 3 onward in the theaters, but I have yet to see 1 and 2. And there's been a couple chances now to see part 1 in the theater. The 40th release, I missed it, and now this COVID re-release,
Yeah.
I'm missing that one too. There's nowhere playing in my area. So, anyways,
You might kick me off for saying this, but the only ones I have seen in the theater were Creeds.
oh well. I mean, it's just you are younger than me. Like, you don't have to say your age, but I think you're 10 years younger than me, at least.
I wish, but not quite.
Oh,
But I just don't remember. Did live in a small town, so we didn't get all the
sure.
movies, I guess. But I don't remember. I was too young for four. I could have probably seen five in the theater. No, I saw Rocky Balboa in the theater too.
Yeah,
I kind of forgot about that.
2006. How old were you in
Yeah.
2006?
That makes me do math that I can't
Sure.
do. Probably like, I don't know, in my 20s.
There you go.
But yeah.
Okay. Oh, that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense because I thought you're in your 20s now.
Oh, yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go
Okay.
that.
All right. Well, is that it for emails?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Awesome.
Wait, let me double check. Yes.
All right. So thank you so much for those incredible emails. I think they're great because they bring up discussion points. Like, we don't just read them. I think they bring a great food for thought, and they specifically ask us for our thoughts. So thank you to everyone that emailed us. If you want to send us an email, the address is gtdwithrr@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Going the Distance Podcast, or Rocky Series Podcast. I think both will bring up the show. Find us on Twitter, Going the Distance, Rocky Series Podcast, or Rocky Series and Creed Podcast is called now. And yeah, if you want to reach out to us anyway, we'll get your email out. We can send you the email address too through those channels. Oh, Twitter. Do we have any? Do we have any Twitter follow for you? People are
I
not
don't.
following on Twitter. They're being really terrible lately. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I don't know. I get notifications from time to time, but I honestly don't like look that much into it. I will say that I got another like Milo, another fake Milo
Yeah, yeah,
person.
yeah. Let's
And
see
then
who that is
yeah,
here.
well they're gone already. I
Oh,
don't
they're
know
already
what
gone.
I don't really understand what they're trying to do. I don't.
Okay, so the Rocky Minute started following you, so we want to give a shout out
Mhm.
to Doug and the Rocky Minute found on this network.
Which I just started. I'm in season one
Oh,
of
good.
the Rocky Minute
You enjoying it?
currently. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Doug and his co-host Jason, they do a great job, and they have a rotating guest host that come on their show. My biggest criticism to Doug, and I don't mind saying this because he won't listen to this episode until he's up to Creed, so that'll be like 10 years from now.
Yeah, because yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't blame him. I'm the same way. Like, there's a couple of podcasts I listen to. Shout out to the Arms Race podcast. They listen to our show sometimes. They cover Sly films, and I've told them that I don't listen to the episodes that I haven't covered yet because I don't want to have my great comedy gold or insights skewered, so to speak. But
Right. Yeah.
so Doug's the same way. He doesn't listen to my show what he hasn't covered yet. So he's only listened to the interviews and up to the first 2 seasons of the show. Of
Wow.
mine, yeah. So I'll say this, Doug. I've told you a million times. I just want you and Jason. He has too many co-hosts. That's my only complaint. Nothing. What I mean by that is he has a lot of rotating. Like, I don't mind it every now and then, but I think their show is the best when it's just him and his co-hosts.
Yeah, and I don't know if he changes the format as the seasons go on, but it's like he'll do a week at a time, and that person is on for the whole week.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they probably record them all at the same
That's
time.
not a
But
bad way of
yeah,
doing it if you're going to do, because then you get a flavor of the individual for the week. But that's my only it's not. I look at my show. I got a lot of criticisms for my show. It goes both ways. But it's only because I think he's great on his own with his co-host. That's all. Because it's not his fault. But sometimes a co-host will come on that just, yeah. I feel like Doug is carrying the show anyways. You might as well just, yeah. But that's it. But there's been some great ones. I'm not saying every co-host. I guess they all can't be gold. I guess if you have that many, you're gonna get some that just aren't that good. That's all. Henry Cressini is following you. He's. Did we talk about him? Okay.
I don't honestly. I don't remember
Okay.
where we last
I think he's
ended.
newish.
Okay.
He has a podcast coming out called Creations. I think he used to do the Henry Talks About podcast, but now he's got a new one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, something like Creations or something like that. Rob Sella, he's a big fan of the show, so he's following you. He's a Uni Hills Eagle #1 Mad LFC fan, so I guess he's another UK guy. I think so. I don't know. Soccer, he's probably UK. Michael
Mm-hmm.
Foley, another UK person, goes. He's a fan of Liverpool FC. They are just the best team ever. Have a nice family. So I guess he has a nice family, or he's telling us to have a nice family. Okay. He also likes watching films and reading. There you go. And lastly, the Double Stop. They're a weekly podcast. So shout out to the Double Stop weekly podcast that interviews a who's who of guitar-based music, hosted by Brian Sword. You can subscribe to his show on iTunes. There you go.
Very nice. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, and we get a lot of followers on the Going Distance one, but there's
Yeah,
just so many I can't read them out. It's kind of true. We do get quite a few. We're up to 1681 now, so that's not too bad. So thanks to everyone
that's really good. Yeah.
everyone that follows the show. And lastly, Kyle, did you get it? Oh, I think Kyle got a new one. Oh, he got the Double Stop as well. He also got Jared Talkstein. He's a home shopping network producer. There you
Oh,
go.
wow.
Yeah. And
Cool.
also Henry and Rocky followed Kyle. Oh, you got a new girlfriend. Kyle got a new girlfriend, Claudine. Claudine.
Oh, this is a real thing, isn't it?
He just gets the French woman. Just love.
I-
So it says here, my name is Claudine. I am single without children. Wow, she's making it clear that I am single and ready to mingle, and I got no kid to hold me down. So Kyle,
Maybe
better.
I should update my profile with that information as
Yeah,
well.
wow, Claudine versus Katie. Who will win? Oh, she looks like a French Katie.
Oh, yeah, I'm not looking at it, but
Yeah, that
yeah.
is weird. That is so our Patreon. Speaking of, if you want to be a Patreon, you can see this amazing footage live of this picture. But if you are on Patreon, you can see this video here. This woman, Claudine, looks like a French Katie. That is crazy.
He better be like 22 and super skinny. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's crazy. I'll send you the link and you'll see for yourself. Okay, so yeah. Speaking of Patreon, we haven't had a new one in a while, but we do appreciate the ones that are. It helps pay for the feed, and I do appreciate it. If you want to become a Patreon, just look at the show notes. The Patreon link is there, or on our Facebook. You'll see where to donate. As little as $1 a month, you get all these live, unedited videos. You get to see our faces, get to see the movie that we're about to talk about now. You get to see the video. You get to see the movie as we, like a commentary. It's like a video commentary. So, all right, ready to go into the movie?
Yeah, I forgot where we ended last
Yeah, I
this
know it's
week.
been a couple
Yeah.
weeks since we recorded, and we are 52 minutes into the film. If people are following along at home, we are in the middle, kind of the training still. So Adonis is in the ring. You can see it now.
Hmm.
Okay, so he just had the discussion with Rocky. So just to remind you, he had the discussion with Rocky in the corner where he's asking Rocky kind of like, "Why are you hands on training me a little bit more?" Rocky's kind of saying he's old and he's not feeling well, so he's trying to tell like Adonis, I'm training you in your heart and your head. Like I might not be able to hold the bag anymore, but I am still here training you. So it's kind of a sad little moment where Rocky's age really comes into play here, that he's not able to hold the bags and stuff anymore.
It is kind of sad.
Yeah. It's too bad we got to get old, Stallion. Remember that scene?
I do, and it reminded me of Carl Weathers, that little interview. They
Oh.
were asking them like what their favorite lines from the Rocky movies were.
Oh, what was his?
Well, he said there were a lot. Carl actually, Apollo does have really good quotable lines.
Yes. Yes.
And I think he was trying to toot his own horn a little bit, but I
Sure.
enjoyed his interview. He said that a lot of them were ad-libbed, but one of his most
Oh,
notable
sure.
was, and I remembered it specifically because it's our when we do the ding ding at the end.
Oh,
He said that was an ad lib, and it's one of his favorites when they do the scene the at the end of Rocky 3, at the beginning of Rocky 4, when it's
right.
just the two of them.
You don't want none
The
of this, Stellan. You don't want none of this. That
age
part.
before beauty,
Yeah.
and then do you want to ring the bell? Ding ding. He says that
Nice.
was one of his favorite lines, and that it was ad libbed.
Nice. Okay. Well, there you go. Shout out to Carl
Mm-hmm.
Weathers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, have we spoken about the passing of Sly's mom? Did we record that? I know we're all over the place. We did, or didn't we?
We did talk about it
Okay.
the last time we recorded. Yep.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Taking them real shots. Slow it down. Hey, hey. That's it. Hey, hey, hey.
So Adonis is sparring.
Easy
here.
work, huh? Okay. All right, keep moving. That's good. Whoa. Time. Bill. Huh? Bill. Taking them real shots, though. Huh?
What you mean?
Taking them real shots, though, huh? Take the glove off right now.
This is my
Take
gym,
the glove off right now.
Take your soft ass back to LA. You ain't ready yet. You ain't ready yet. This is my gym. Fuck this gym.
All right. So they just dropped an F bomb there, eh? I guess you get one for PG-13. Is that how it works?
I don't know what the rules are, but Rocky's about to school him, like literally, like
Yeah. So
as
what's,
if he's a 5-year-old.
right. So let's just for of course our listeners, they're sparring, and I guess Adonis's sparring partner was hitting a little bit hard. I guess there's a kind of a courtesy in sparring.
Well, I think it's Amir, isn't it? Isn't it Padman's son that? And I think we talked about last time that he is probably trying to show him up a little bit because
Right.
yeah.
Because he says you're in my gym, so he's kind of
Mm-hmm.
showing territorial. Like he's swinging a little bit hard at Adonis, going, "Oh, go back to LA. This is my gym. You know, you're just a visitor here. You don't belong here," type thing. Territorial, yeah. And so now they've gone to their separate corners, and like you said, Rocky's about to talk to Adonis.
Called a learning curve.
Ain't no
You got-
learning.
Hey, hey, hey. You know what? You can't learn anything you're talking. That's a fact of life. You know what I mean? As long as you're talking, you're not listening. Go apologize. You guys are on the same damn team, okay? There you go.
You good, you good.
Good.
You good.
All right. Now let's go to work.
So there you go. Nice little talk. And Adonis took it. He did apologize, but I like that. You can't learn while you're talking. What do you think about that?
Well, so Wise, it's one of the Wise Rockies, Mickey now, and it's something that we love from Rocky. Like those are all tidbits of things that he says that we love. But I
Yeah.
thought it was just interesting, and to your point, he did listen.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting that he was like, "Go apologize." I mean, have you ever said that to an adult? I mean, like,
Not- I
literally
don't
have
know
to, like,
what-
scold someone.
I don't know if I've done. It's been a long time. I'm sure I have at work at some point in my career in the military. I feel like I've broken up fights,
Oh,
but
I
I
bet.
don't. But I don't know. Yeah, I can. Maybe I have, but it's been years. I do it with the kids all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, she used to make us like my kids. Thankfully, they don't really fight all that much. They really just don't. They don't. I don't. I'm not really. Normal like. You're my space issues, but not real fights. But I know growing up with me and my brothers, we'd kind of get into little fights here and there. And my mom would always make us hug each other and say, tell each other you love each other. So after the fight, as much as we hated, it's like, oh, I'm so mad. But the moment we hugged each other and said, I love you, it went away. It was weird. Yeah, so shout out to my mom there. She always made us, we had to hug each other and say sorry and I love you. And even when you were wrong or right, you both had to embrace.
Oh, Rebalkan parenting tip.
Yeah.
Number 202.
Well, my mom was great. And I mean, she still is. But she used to say something else. If she heard us bickering, and she was on a different floor of the house, she would just call it, show love, be kind.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
sweet.
she was great. So I just beat my kids to a pulp. But other than that, I've really learned a lot from my parents. just joking. Child services, slow down. Oh my goodness, you can't say anything anymore. Sometimes,
It's hard.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go. So now we're seeing another scene of Adonis is watching some sparring. Let's watch this.
Up there. Yeah.
So he's watching the guy that he was fighting. like sparring with in the ring. He's watching him train with his trainer right now with those gloves that you hold up.
It's the dad, their father son.
Right.
Yet another father son.
Another father son.
There.
Yeah.
Go ahead. On top. Right, hook it. Step ahead.
One step at a time, one punch at a time, one round at a time. One step at a time, one punch at a time, one round at a time. Get it right.
Now we're hearing a little bit of that Rocky cue, the music coming in, and that famous line there: one punch at a time, one step at a time, one round at a time. This is the first time it's ever been said, I think, is in this Creed film, but it's one of the quotes that has kind of stuck with the Rocky character over the years, since this film, I think.
And there's also like a couple little kids there just watching. I don't know where they came from, whose kids those are.
Yeah, it's kind of cute.
Little kids.
Yeah, little kids. They got little gloves on, and they're watching the big boys, work, and they're dreaming of being. Yeah, it's cool. It's showing that kind of family and what would you call it? Like a kind of like the family unit that this place holds. Like it's a community.
Yep.
Come on, let's go. Fast, pop it fast.
So now Adonis is working with the guy's dad with the gloves. So he was watching him train because he's trying to learn all these things very quickly that probably the son in this gym has learned already. So he's mimicking, he's learning all these things that he's self-trained, but he might not have been trained very properly.
Yeah, it's like fundamentals. Like he's just now learning boxing fundamentals from proper trainers.
Up, boom, boom, bah. Good. I want you to let it all out. Hey, everyone's ever disrespected. See them. Anything you ever wanted. Go after it. Bah. Now's your time. Make a statement. One step. One punch. One round at a time.
Now, just for our listening audience, so he's doing the training and punching the heavy bag. He's, everyone's disrespect you. Get all that out. Get it all out of your system. And then they end with that classic scene of them both on the speed bags. It's cool because, of course, it's, Michael B. Jordan and Stallone working the speed bag, and they're doing a great job. I have a theory, though, about the speed bag. I think I talked about it before in one of a past episode, but you see it, and they're both going together. They're both doing great. And you can see Sly, but they kept it out of the film, but he's talking. So I think Sly was talking, not the Rocky character. So I think they were playing around on the bags, but the film's rolling, the camera's rolling, right?
I agree.
Yeah, so he's talking, but I think it's Sly talking because none of the audio comes through. And then he goes in for the big punch at the end, but he misses. And I don't think he meant to miss. So he misses, but he keeps kind of in character, and Michael B. Jordan is still going. So Sly, or Rocky, your pick, grabs Michael's bag and interrupts his speed bag. Haha, I stopped yours too. I think there's a little bit of real life there. I don't think Sly meant to miss that final punch. He missed it. He woofed the hit, but it showed a playful, ending with the two. But I that's my theory. My theory is they kept it in the film to make it look like Rocky's being playful, but I think it was Sly being playful when he missed the bag. Yeah.
He was, first of all, he was still really good at it.
Oh yeah.
Like he's really good at it still. And then I agree. I think that it was like, it was so playful and like it seemed very like genuine and like it wasn't like a scripted thing.
No, I don't think it was. I don't think that was in the script where it says Rocky will be punching the bag with Adonis. Rocky will miss the punch. No, that was on the fly. On the fly, Sly. There you go. This new segment, on the fly, Sly. Sly on the fly. But
it was good. Those moments are kind of what make it good. Like I loved that scene so much. Like it was just really cute.
It is nice, but I do want to add to my theory why I think it's true too that it was impromptu is because the Rocky character. Remember, he's been showing that he's tired and he's slow, and this kind of didn't quite fit. He seemed very spry. It just seemed more like Sylvester Stallone showing off and having fun than the Rocky character. All of a sudden, get this big burst of energy to work the speedbag because he just finished saying that he's tired. He doesn't really have the ability to do what he did. But there he is working the speed bag in tandem with
That's it.
Adonis.
Yeah,
So,
good observation.
yeah. But I could be wrong. So now we're going right into the fight. So he's fighting, who is it now? Leo?
Leo the Lion Sparino.
Thank you. So it's a pretty big crowd here. This is obviously Adonis's biggest crowd. And a lot of the people here are probably curious, just like they thought that they would like to see, who's Rocky's new puppet? Who's Rocky's robot in the corner?
That's funny that you say that it is probably Adonis's biggest crowd, but my initial thought was, wow, this is a really small venue. but it's not like a major fight. It's just like a local, right? Like, but Leo's ranked. So I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Oh, it looks like it's kind of a so they showed two other boxers in the ring, so it might be kind of like a daytime event where they have a few amateur fights, or this it's like a MMA has the smaller bills and it goes up to the title card. So these guys are probably maybe the last fight of the night.
Isn't that typically? I think
so.
Are most boxing matches that way? There's always undercard fights leading up to the main event. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, so now we're in the dressing room of Adonis here. Working again those punches into the
Hey, how you doing, man?
Okay, so Pete, all right, this is Pete, Team Sparino. So Pete's got a call for Rocky. He wants to talk to Rocky outside the dressing room while Adonis keeps training. Let's hear what this conversation is said.
Something wrong?
Rock, I knew there was something with this kid. I mean, Rocky, I've been trying for years to get you to come work with us.
It's okay.
All of a sudden, this kid from Hollywood gets you out of the shadows.
No, I ain't in no shadows. I just don't want to do nothing in the gym, that's all.
Okay, so we kind of know what's coming. So now Rocky doesn't know what Pete knows just yet. But Pete, it's interesting. He's like, I know who this guy is. And he was like, I wondered why. Like, I was trying to figure out why you gravitated towards this kid so much. And so he's about to drop that on Rocky in just a second here. But of note, though, Peter is actually wearing a Mighty Mix shirt there.
Well, it's his gym that he manages. What I notice here is that Pete's and Leo's, the Sparino team, is black and yellow, which is the Italian Stallion colors. I just thought that was interesting.
Maybe is it the Italian Stallion colors, or is it the Mighty Mix colors that Stallion wore being traded by Mick?
Well, that's a good point. Rocky, I don't recall Rocky's robe ever saying Mighty Mix on it anywhere.
No, it said the Italian Stallion. But yeah, it's weird. He has the Mighty Mick emblem with the Italian Stallion colors. Yeah, interesting.
Rocky, I made calls to L.A. Kid's name is Adonis. Kid is Creed's blood. Now, this fight just got big time.
I apologize. Do me a favor. Can we keep this between ourselves?
How come?
I'm asking you as a favor. I want him to make a name on his own. Come on, Pete.
Yeah. Secret safe with me, Rock.
Okay, so they're about to go. Okay, maybe you can help me out here, because they're about to go and have a fight. So the fight's set, as Rocky would say in part one. The fight's set. So the fight is set. They're going to go and have a fight, like literally in moments. Why does it matter at this point that it's Creed or Muhammad Ali's son, or who? Like, does it even matter whose son? Like, this point right now, the fight is about to happen. He's not going to go tweet it out moments. Like, the tickets are sold. What does Pete gain from spilling the beans that this is Adonis's kid, even after the fight?
Well, because it's a huge victory. Because right now it's just like kind of a nobody fight, but they're assuming they're going to win,
right?
The Sparinos. And so that's a big like PR play. He's assuming they're going to win. And then it comes out, oh, this kid that he just beat is Apollo Creed's son. That's like a huge deal. Now his status or standing, he just becomes a bigger deal. He just beat Creed's kid.
Beat the DNA. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but right now, I honestly can't remember when the information comes out. But he says to Rocky at this moment, you're okay, Rock, your secret's safe with me.
Well, what I wonder here is, like at some point it has to come out, but like, because he is a slick Rick that we've talked about.
Yeah.
When he just said, he's like, okay, sure, secret safe. Like, is he
Mm-hmm.
being facetious, or does he change his mind later? You know, does he have in his head at this moment?
No, he's a snake oil salesman. He's only out for himself. He's mad at Rocky right now.
He is, but I think he gets even more mad later. We'll see
Right, right.
I'm sure everybody's seen this, but like the results of the
Spoiler
results of the fight. But I'm like, does he already have in his head that he's gonna spill it, or
Yeah.
does he truly believe he's keeping the secret for now, and then he's pissed later, and he's like, screw this.
Yeah, I can't remember. It might be we know the outcome of this fight, but I wonder
Yeah.
if he's angry, so he's pissed off. But yeah, we'll find out. And this fight that's coming up, keep in mind, I think it's going to be the single shot fight. You know what I mean by that? Like it's a single
The
take.
camera.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that this is the fight that does that. So again, when we get to the fight, we're going to let a lot of it play through with not a lot of commentary. I mean, obviously for the audio edit, I'll edit accordingly because it's just this is where Kyle comes in a little bit better. But we'll be fine. But when it comes to like the blow by blow, I'd just recommend if you forget the fight and you really want to see what we saw on this episode, the fights are a little bit harder to break down because honestly, Rocky films are not about the fights. That's one thing I don't care, but it's about the emotion and the reason why they're fighting, more than just the technicality of the swings and the misses and the blocks, in my opinion.
Yeah, and if I remember, it's pretty uneventful. Like there's
Yeah.
not really a ton to talk about. Like I think there are a few things of note, but that's it.
And but yeah, go on YouTube and look it up. Anyways, you can watch it. Then it reminds you what we're looking at. But like I said, those Patreons, they can watch it with us. So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
But first, we got a couple scenes that happened before.
Appreciate it.
So he's being facetious there because Peter's already walked away out of earshot, and he's like, appreciate it.
He wears the Converse all the time now.
Oh.
When did he start doing that?
I think Rocky Balboa maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep going. They're looking good. Come on.
This is a pretty cool scene here. We're actually watching the Cut Man putting this kit together. We've never seen that yet in the pre-Rocky fight kind of stuff. We're actually seeing the real, the cut guy getting his tools ready for the fight. It's kind of neat, like a little montage of the stuff he needs for cuts. The Q-tips and the tape cutter and all that stuff.
It seems so clinical.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Almost. Yeah.
And Bianca sees it, though, and she's recognizing, oh, that's the stuff they use when their face breaks open. And she doesn't seem too thrilled by it. A little bit of a nod to the Adrian reluctance of the woman seeing her man get beaten to a pulp. Well, anyone that you care about, you don't want to watch them get beat up, I guess.
Hey, how's everybody feeling tonight? I'm about to go over the ABC rules and the rules governed by the state. No 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8 count, a fighter cannot be saved by the bell. What we mean by no 3 knockdown rule is basically whatever the referee sees fit for competition.
So I kind of like how this referee comes in to tell them like a little preliminary, just reminder of the rules of this bout in the state and what have you. And his voice drones out. And both fighter and coach here are nervous. And they kind of have that numbing sound of like, okay, they have other things on their brain. They're not really listening.
Yeah, it's gotten real and they're tuning it out now.
This is what Bianca hears, I guess.
That's actually really smart. To give this movie props. I feel like that happens a lot. Like when you're in something important is happening in your life and you really should be paying attention, but you can't or you don't for whatever reason. So this was a good way of portraying, like making these people seem more real to us.
Oh yeah, they're very human. This is not yeah, and I would suspect fighters get nervous before a fight.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cut my gloves off.
What's wrong?
My gloves, just cut them off.
I can't cut them off. I'm ready to go fight. Are they too tight?
I'm freaking out, okay? I'm freaking out right now. I gotta take a shit. Somebody gonna wipe my ass for me? Cut my gloves off, come on,
All right, relax. It happens. Hey, Rep, I'm gonna need some help here. Can you?
I'm gonna be right outside.
That's right.
I love how he's like, who's gonna
She's
wash?
like,
Who's gonna wipe my butt? All right, gloves are coming off. The gloves are coming off.
And she's like, I don't want to know about this.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
I would like. Well, I'll put the toilet paper in between the thumb and the. And you can try it with the gloves on. Imagine that. Oh boy.
Can you stall for like 10 minutes or something? I gotta put the gloves back on.
All right, step on
Yeah,
outside, Rock.
I appreciate it. Thank you very
Ain't no
much.
problem. Be back to it.
All right, come on. It'll be all right.
Did you notice Amir is sort of, I didn't notice this before. Amir is sort of like I think he is a little jealous that he's not in Adonis's position a little bit, and he's
Sure.
just sort of shaking his head like, God, what is this guy's deal? Like, can he
Right.
like not get it together?
What's interesting? He's there in the corner at all. Really.
Mm-hmm.
A little nervous?
Nerves.
Hurry up.
Hurry up! I can't hurry up when I'm pressured to go. Need to relax. Sorry. We're all waiting outside here. Oh boy. All right, so now we're cutting to the crowd shot here. Bianca sat down, looking tentative.
Blue corner, red corner. All right, fellas, y'all had y'all instructions in the dressing room.
Yeah, Michael B's pretty jacked here, though.
I think he's even more so in Creed 2.
I think so, yeah. A little bit more swole. And the Sobrino guy, he's a real fighter in real life, I believe. So he's got that kind of that, he's got the real world build compared to, of course, the Hollywood build.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's a movie, but
Yeah, and he has like a look about him that looks like real boxers. Like even his like something about his face looks
a little bit scarier. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
He's got it's those tattoos are no joke either that he's got on him. So yeah, he's a scarier individual than the actor. So go figure.
Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions from the blue corner? Questions from the red corner? Touch them up. Be ready on seconds out.
Right. It's about you.
So now watch from the time they touched gloves when the ref came out and gave them that instruction. I don't think the camera ever shot like it's a one take.
Yep. It's all about you. Now, you wanted this?
So that's a very interesting. I remember we saw this in the theaters. I remember thinking that was very impressive, and because they don't tell you it's coming. I think it's after a little bit you realize, oh, they're not cutting away. So like Kyle mentioned in a previous episode, this was to show you this is right in the ring with the fighter. Whereas the first fight that we saw in Mexico, it was outside the ring. Now this one's inside the ring. It's a perspective.
That's a good observation. You're always I'm not very good with the movie making stuff. You're always really good about that. I did just notice both Adonis and Rocky have Queensberry t-shirts.
Oh.
Like, well, Adonis isn't wearing it now, but he had a cut off Queensberry t-shirt, and that's what Rocky's wearing now under his
What's
hoodie.
that?
I don't know.
Is that the gym they're
original
training
thing-
at, maybe?
No, he said that was no, that's not the name of it. I can't recall what it is just off the top of my head, but yeah, I don't know what it is.
Okay, interesting. I'm sure one of our listeners will correct us.
Yeah.
They're yelling at their iPod right now. I know. People probably hate listening to the show. We thank you as well. Those who hate listen. I there's a couple of podcasts I hate listen to, so I wouldn't be surprised if I'm on somebody's.
Let's go, Coach. I want you to make it happen. I want you to make it happen. Can you do it?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's make it happen. Let's go.
It's all about today. There goes tomorrow. Let's go.
So of course for the audio edit, don't worry, it'll be edited between the the visuals only. But just so what's happened here, the one shot continues. It's really interesting to watch this fight again. I can't recommend enough just to go on YouTube at the very least and watch this fight, because it'll be on YouTube, and to watch the incredible camera work of, and just it's like a dance routine, because the actors would have to have, they have to memorize all these movements and everything, right? So I can imagine it probably took more than one take, but if you mess up, you got to start at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. And as we would imagine, Adonis is not coming out super strong. I think it takes him a minute to kind of get his footing. So from out of the gate, Leo is definitely winning.
Yeah. Points wise, yeah.
Let's go, boy.
Now that might have been a cheat there. I just saw that. I wonder. Look, go back. Here's.
With the cut? Do you mean?
Yeah. Watch when he ducks. I wonder if that was a cheat there. I wonder. Watch it again when Michael B. Jordan ducks down, he comes back up. You could have done it there, an edit trick. Watch. Right there.
Let's go, boy.
It definitely was, because he didn't have the cut, the cut on his eye. When he came back up, now he has a visible cut on his eye.
So that's how they did that one, because that's movie magic a little bit. It looks like a fluid shot, but you could have easily just had him come up, film it, like have him go down, come up on a different. Yeah, it's because he's the only one in frame here, so they could have easily spliced that in. Very good though. It's very seamless, but I think that's where they could have done it. And you're right about having the cut. So that's where they do the cheat there. I think that's a cheat. For those who are tracking on the film, it's at the 58-minute mark. Okay.
Let me get out of there. Keep moving, Donnie. Get up.
Let's go, boy.
There you go. There you go. Good. Back on.
What I love about this too, because we're right in on the two fighters, but we keep hearing Rocky's training from the corner. It's really cool. We're hearing that. Just can't quite make out what he's saying, but that's kind of what Adonis would hear too. Like, from Rocky in the corner. So he's given the things that he wants his fighter to hear. We're hearing as an audience, but not seeing him say it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear a little bit of it. Like you can hear it earlier. You could hear it a little bit better what he would say. Also, you can hear Pete too.
Yeah,
just in the same way.
Yeah, it's cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
And we don't see them, because all the other Rocky films, we see them yelling in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Drago's fighters, whatever that is.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Good job. So they're calling out what's
Leo.
the last? Leo.
They're just saying Leo, I
Leo,
think.
okay.
But don't you think it looks like a small venue? There is a balcony though.
There is a balcony. You're right. It's probably Adonis, but you're right. It's Adonis' biggest crowd, but maybe there's 2,000 to 4,000 there. 2,000, 4,000.
You think?
No.
I don't know. I'm not very good gauge on it. But it's just I found it interesting that your reaction was that it was a big crowd, and mine was that it seemed tiny. Is that how it usually goes? Women, what is that how it goes?
Yeah, it is. That might have been another edit cheat there too. I think. Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Look at this. We're breaking. Now people are going to come back and say, no, it's one take. I know that's what they advertised, but there's been two little shots here where they could have seamlessly, because it's when Adonis is by himself in the screen, they flip the camera a little bit. Now he's still in it, but with a little bit of trickery, you could splice two moments together. I could be wrong, but that's your time to do. It's only when one of them's on. Because if you go back, let's go back again, because it's also what's key is what's in the background, because that's the background blurs. Watch. Right there goes black.
Mm-hmm.
See how it's black, and he swings and misses.
Let's go, boy. Go get this shit. Go get it.
You're right. Maybe it's only 1,000 people at this venue. Maybe 1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I thought that I got tricked by the balcony, but the balcony's only on one side. It's not all around.
Keep moving, keep coming forward!
Okay, so it does go past the first round. Okay, I forgot
Yeah, I
about
kind
that.
of forgot too. And Rocky, yeah, to your point, you can make out what they're saying at this point. Leo's dad is like, keep moving, keep going, and it gets Johnny in trouble. Like he's up against the ropes, and Rocky's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
All right,
Yeah.
look at how many tats this guy. He's covered.
I mean, he and Stallone are like twins.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay. All right. It's okay. Good. Deep breath. Bring it on. Deep breath. Deep breath. Look at me. I like what you're doing out there, all right? You're a little tight. You're going to loosen up, all right? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to throw your left under the radar. Then when you come up with a shovel hook, you're going to see an opening, put it right on his chin, then I'll drop him.
Mouthpiece in, seconds out!
Your old man did that to me. It worked.
Mouthpiece in, seconds out!
So he said your old man did that to me and it worked. So he's giving him advice to fight like Apollo.
Finish it up, Leo!
Now, do you think he's been told, this fighter, that this is Apollo's son?
Oh, that's a good question, Ryan.
Do you think that would help
No.
him win or to help him lose? Like, would that get in his head that he's
Ooh.
fighting the champion's son?
Yeah, I think if I were Pete, I think a lot of what they say is that boxing is so mental.
Mhm.
Like so much of it is mental, and only like a fraction is physical. And so dropping something like that on someone right before a big fight is probably not smart, but
Yeah.
you never know. What
Yeah,
do you think?
I kind of agree with you. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a trainer. I don't know the sport, like, the mental part of it. But I would assume if I was a trainer, yeah, why throw their head into a tizzy just before the fight? Whatever moment they've done, they've trained up to that point. Let it go until after.
Actually, I'm going to double down on that
Sure.
because I feel like if he did, that would be part of this. They'd make that part of the scene, like in some way. They'd show us that he knew. Like it would make for more of a dramatic scene, don't you think?
Yeah.
He'd say, like he would, like I feel like Leo would say something to him in the ring, like call him Creed or something,
Right.
or like you're nothing like your dad, or something.
Come on, Creed.
Yeah.
Come on, Creed. Oh, there you go. They cheated there. You can see the cheat there, I think, with Leo. When he crosses his gloves and hits, watch. I feel bad for this. I'm gonna get people in the comments or so. No, Ryan Coogler would never. They said. No, check out when Leo crosses his gloves. Okay, it looks like that was probably the worst or the best case evidence. Best piece of evidence. Check it out. See? Did that look natural to you? It looked like his head kind of popped out like out of nowhere. It was a weird. It would look. One more time.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Just see when he hits his gloves, it almost looks like his head disappears for a half a frame. This seam is seamless. There's a reason why he's touched his gloves. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing too much into it. I could be, but that's your time to kind of do it when he hits his glove because it's distracting, and it's a good time to edit because you just have him, hit his glove again. They start the next scene or the next. But
well, there was an opportunity just before that where it was only one of them on
Yeah.
camera.
But
too.
it could be all one shot. If it is, again, that's amazing. I know that's how they advertise it, but I don't know. I'm seeing a couple moments here
Did
where
they advertise? I don't remember this being a big deal. This one.
I seem to remember, but maybe
Okay.
I'm remembering wrong.
No, you're probably right.
And I don't want to debunk it, but it is movie magic. And
Mm-hmm.
because here's the thing, I don't do movies, I don't know anything about them, but this is a longer scene than I remember. And if they did this whole thing without any cuts, that means this is from Rocky's corner talk to everything. If you think about how much they can't mess up one moment.
Well, the runtime it's probably less than 2 minutes. Don't you think?
Well, because we keep pausing. I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
4 to 5, which isn't an
Oh,
impossible
okay.
dance to do, but I mean, people on Broadway do stuff like this all the time, I guess, but what do I know?
Come on!
He's channeling this Stallone of, come on, come on.
And then the music comes up.
Yeah. Well, Stallone does it in all his films. Come on, come on. Every film he does that. Come on. I want to do if I had known every time watching these Stallone films, so, with the ones we do outside of this Rocky franchise, he always does that. Come on, come on. Like, it's.
He has certain phrases that are in all of his. Yeah.
That's
I
one of
liked the "You ain't so bad."
You ain't so bad.
I like that.
That's the one cut to Rocky in the corner. He's like, now. Lay it into him. Everything we train. Here we go.
Well, he was signaling him to do the move that Apollo did to Rocky. So he was saying, now's the time to
That's
do
right.
that, and it'll work. And he just did it.
So he just Apollo'd this guy.
And he knocked him down.
Yeah. See if he stays down.
Go get some! To the right! We got one, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10! That's it, baby! We got one, right?
There you go.
Okay. I am massively confused by this because he was up for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Leo, how did he? What am I missing?
I think it might be also the ref can. This is where Kyle would come in, but the ref I think can make a call of you might be on your feet, but you're still not in.
That might be, but it just if that's the case,
Like
then
me,
there's such
like
a stark difference between.
Yeah, I know.
Because Rocky got up and was barely on his feet
In part 2?
Still in
Part 2 was horribly edited for that. He was it was an odd edit. One that was a 45-second count. It took forever.
Well, I know, but the point is that he got up on 10,
Yeah,
barely, and he was still woozy on his feet. Where also that was 1976. I get
right,
it. It's different now, but Leo was fully standing for 2 seconds, and I remember, I was like, how did Adonis win this fight?
It's weird. I don't know why they make it vague. They should have just had him knocked out cold, or have him on his knees, or like a third of the way up, and it's like you're not on you're out. Just because it's still the same victory,
right?
Why make it? Why make it us having this discussion?
Yeah, maybe somebody can school me on this because I'm massively confused as to how that's a knockout.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Give him some room. Rock.
So he goes over there to say congratulations, good fight to Leo's corner, but they shoo him away.
Not now. Is that what they said?
Let's go back. It was really quick, but he went over to say, that's a professional thing to do. A lot of MMA fighters have to do that. Hey, good fight. Good job. It's a courtesy.
That's because you. Come on, man. Give him some room. Rock.
And they said lucky shot.
I thought he said give us some room.
Yeah, and
rock,
I heard
rock, like rock.
yeah,
Like,
Peter shoot him away right away.
I thought he was saying rock, like saying his name.
Yeah, so Rocky just left. He just turned around and said, "Okay, that was awkward."
Come on in, Bianca, come in.
Sorry. You didn't say you had hands like that. Why did you say you had hands like that, though?
Bro, but don't come squared up. Come squared up. What we doing after this?
Let's go for it.
Let's go tear the city up.
Okay.
All right, so Adonis asks, "What are we doing after this? Let's go for it." There's that Rocky quote, "Go for it."
Go for it. And then Adonis says, let's tear the town up or something.
Yeah.
And then they cut to them like falling asleep on the couch.
Yeah. All right, well, that's a good spot to stop because it's a softer moment, and we'll get into that discussion. Before we get too far ahead, too, we can maybe even bend Kyle's ear about, if we don't hear from anyone before, about how that counts as a knockout when he's out on his feet for 2 seconds. My theory, before Kyle says it, because I think I'm right, is I think the ref can do whatever type of, like, his eyes aren't quite right. He doesn't look right in the face or whatever. He's on his feet, but it's still a technical knockout.
I'm sure you're right, but to your point earlier, why'd they do that?
I don't know. And same with Rocky 2. Why didn't they make it more obvious? Why didn't he just come up on the 9 seconds?
Well, no, that made sense because that was part of the storyline.
Well, you beat me by 1 second.
Well, yeah.
But it wasn't really.
1/10. He said like 1/10 of a
No,
second.
it goes. You beat me by 1 second, Stallion. 1 second.
Okay.
And
well, either way, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the 1 second is that he got up on the 10 count, but Apollo fell back to the canvas. So he's not really. But that's not really a true statement. He didn't beat me by 1 second because he's in the. Other than that, yes, Rocky got up on the last second, maybe.
Well, I think Apollo in that scenario was assuming that he still would have retained the title. He would have been declared the winner, but on points.
On points, okay. But because of that last second.
Yeah, Rocky got up. Yeah.
You beat me by the last second, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, wow.
It's really hard for a man of my intelligence.
Yes.
So.
Well, this was an amazing, fun, great episode as always. I hope our listeners had as much fun as we did sharing this. And again, we wish Kyle a full, speedy recovery. I know he's well loved by listeners, and he adds an element that we can't fill on it. But I know that we all add our own little cast of characters, and I think so. And I think I think everyone's enjoyed again your edition, and I just want to repeat again, if you want to send us an email, gtdwithrr@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, like our page on Facebook, send us a donation on Patreon. You get these live videos and early releases. At the time of this recording though, I feel bad. Episode 8, this is all kind of like timeline weird for people, but episode 8, I was late releasing the live video to my patrons because I'm busy at work and I got new recruits and I just totally forgot. So they'll get the live video version, but they're going to get it pretty much the same day that the audio is released on iTunes, but they still get it. I apologize to you guys. I didn't get you an early release on anything. Please forgive me. But yeah, I'm human too, right? So
are you whipping them into shape?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. They just got here as we're recording just last Saturday, so it's now Friday. So they've only been at the base for 5 days, but they still got that little scared look in their eyes, and yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it though. I enjoy being instructor. All right, anything you want to share there, Katie, before we close?
The only thing that came up is quasi-related is that I am caught up now. So thanks to the recommendation about This Is Us, I'm caught up to at least what's available on Hulu. I think it's the most recent.
Yeah, I think so.
And I feel like you were holding out on me a little bit in all of the Rocky references.
Oh,
There's
isn't there?
tons.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, for those who haven't watched and you're wanting something to watch during this quarantine COVID time when shows are being a little bit slower to come out and theaters are kind of empty, let us really, if you're a Stallone fan, you haven't watched This Is Us, you're missing out because it really has the same emotional about families and loved ones and going the distance with your own personal struggles. And yeah, Stallone guest stars on an episode, and there's like Rocky references and Stallone references throughout the films. Absolutely.
And Felicia Rashad, well, Rocky Jr. plays like one of the main characters, and Felicia Rashad plays the mom of one of the characters.
I did hold out on you. I want you to experience on your own. I didn't want to spoil everything, but now we have
There
for
was
other
tons
people.
of them. Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's their fault. You know what? One other show a sitcom that has a lot of Rocky references was King of Queens.
did it? I
Yeah.
loved that show, but I don't recall there being a lot of Rocky references.
I rewatched it like 4 or 5 years ago. I rewatched the whole series on a sale on a deployment that I was on, and I watched the whole series. I couldn't believe it. Again, had I known there would have been so many, I would have time tagged them so I could have put them all together in kind of a Rocky.
Who's is Doug a Rocky fan or
Yes,
something?
Doug, and I think
Okay.
Kevin James in real life is. So that was him bringing his fandom into the show. Yeah, yeah,
That was a great show.
loved it. Yeah. All right. Well, are you ready to take us out?
Ding ding.
All right. Thanks to Carl Weathers for that, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to stop recording.